Good morning, and welcome to the Here's Help Radio Show, a public service program serving South Florida for over 30 years, discussing issues and community affairs that have a direct impact on our community. Here's Help is a nonprofit, comprehensive rehabilitation and educational agency that has been providing treatment services in South Florida since 1968. For more information about Here's Help or the Here's Help Radio Show, you can contact us at 305-685-8201. If you need help or know of someone who is having a substance abuse or alcohol problem, you can call our admissions office at 305-685-8201 extension 225. If you would like to make a cash donation to Here's Help and join the fight against drug abuse, call Footy at 305-685-8201 extension 227. And now, the host of this week's edition of the Here's Help Radio Show.
Good morning and welcome to the Here's Help Radio Show. I'm your host, Louis Espinosa, and today's guest is Jimmy Jam. We've had him on here before, and we got a special guest for you, but we're here to talk about Get Ready, Get Set, Camp Jam 2011. Jimmy, welcome back. It's always a pleasure to have you on the show, and you brought in a surprise guest today that you guys are hooking up, getting together, and doing something great, not just for adults, but for children in South Florida as well.
That's right. We'll say hello to Liz over here. Liz is with riolatinimpact.
Good morning. How are you?
Good, Liz. How are you? Thank you so much for being on the show. I wanted Jimmy to surprise you and surprise me and surprise the audience with telling exactly who you are and what you're doing here.
Well, welcome. Thank you for inviting me here today. It was a pleasure. And why am I here today? My kids and I from Real Latin Impact, we're looking forward to performing at the Camp Jam event. They're very excited. Orientation started yesterday, and we're looking forward to it. Also the moms, because if it wasn't for the moms, we wouldn't have the kids program. The moms started out with me doing the dance fitness.
But talk to us about that. Talk to us about how you got this off the ground. I know it's a big movement. I know it's a lot of cardio, a lot of impact, a lot of good things are happening. It's going to branch out now to children, which God knows with the highest rate of juvenile diabetes and the highest rate of juvenile obesity on the planet, it's definitely, we can't get enough of this. Jimmy and Liz, and thank you so much for adding the kids to something that's already very successful. But tell me about how did you get Rio Latin Impact off the ground?
Real Latin Impact was started 3 years ago when I started at a facility as a dance fitness instructor, and the demand grew. It just grew, and I went ahead and opened my own location. And as I continue dancing, they continue dancing. They like the type of dancing, intense dancing.
What is the difference? So what is the difference between regular dancing, samba, merengue, bachata, reggaeton, salsa, Latin hip hop, but you're saying intense?
Intense,
This means that it's a little bit more than what we see with Dancing with the Stars.
Correct.
It's aimed at
intense. You've heard of Insanity. You've heard of P90X.
Correct.
Well, Real Latin Impact is going to be the next dance, hottest, intense dance fitness. We call it RIO, and it stands for Real Intense Outcome.
Wow. And what are the outcomes?
And the outcomes are you get detoning, you get building endurance, you get also my specialty, which I specialize in Brazilian butt lift by Liz. The Brazilian butt lift by Liz, yes. And I
BBL by L, yes.
It's really hardcore. We do a lot of the Brazilian funk, which that targets the butt lift. We do a lot of reggaeton, but it's hardcore boot camp reggaeton, and it's a lot of ribs coming out and wiggling and movement, and the mothers love it.
Well,
and
she is so high energy. I have to interject. So first of all, the people in Radio Land that are listening, Liz looks like a Shakira, like she could be Shakira's sister. So
correct.
So that's first of all, and she's got a knockout body. Let's just call it like we see it.
Well, thank you.
And on stage, she lights up a stage, and she lights up a room when she walks in with her high energy and her high energy impact, and she brings that with the exercise. She makes people follow her with high energy, and she gets results.
Yes, absolutely.
Jimmy, tell us about how did you two hook up? How did you end up getting together, and how's it going to be at Camp Jam 2011? Talk to us about that.
We were introduced through a mutual friend, Ingrid Morales, with Southline. She runs several different groups. She manages artists and groups.
Dancers, correct.
Dancers and cheerleading
Yes.
troops, and she's a She's a dynamo herself. And Ingrid knows that we're always looking for different acts for Camp Jam. The theme is keeping kids active and healthy. So that's where Liz comes in as one of those segments, not just to entertain the kids in the audience, but to give them something tangible that they can leave there, a way of exercising, something that they can go home with, how they can exercise on their own, put down the Xbox or the PlayStation and do some fun exercise. And when it's fun and entertaining, the kids will do it.
The kids will do it.
Yes,
Right.
absolutely.
Now, Jimmy, tell us about Camp Jam. Tell them all about it. How did you found it? How did it come about? What are the acts that are going to be there? And how does a mother or a child get a hold of you to participate in it?
It was started in 2003.
Wow.
And it's just been continually, we don't really advertise it at all. The camps come back year after year. They love it. The camps themselves, the counselors love it because the kids are entertained. The counselors have a great time, and the kids in the audience are having a blast. And what else do you want to know?
No, I just want to know, how did it get off the ground? How is it getting bigger? Where is it? When is it? And can anybody just sign up to get their kid in here? Because my kid, everybody's kid now, because of the television shows, Dancing with the Stars,
Right.
So You Think You Can
Right.
Dance, it's one of the high-profile things now. And a lot of them are excellent. But we want to point them in the right direction to get these kids into the right dance troupes and the dance environments. Because like you said, over the summer, if they're not in school doing phys ed, unfortunately, 80% of them, 90% of them are going to be in front of the computer
That's it.
playing with the PlayStations and becoming obese or diabetic, which has become epidemic proportions. So on this show, we want to do as much as we can to get, like you guys, to get those kids off of the couch during the summer. Like, where does a mother or a kid, where do they find you and how do they get involved?
Well, what they do, first of all, it's through private camps. So you can't just buy a ticket. We do have Y100's involvement. They're involved. They want to be a part of our successful event. But it's Friday. This year, it's just one day. It's Friday, July 8th of 2011, and it's at the Faith Center in Sunrise, which used to be the Sunrise Musical Theater. It's now a church, which holds 4,000 people.
Wow.
And we fill it up. And what we do is we actually have some of the students or clients from Here's Help come out and volunteer to be in support of this actual show. They volunteer in terms of ushering and helping backstage. And
Jimmy, have you guys ever considered doing something for the staff, for the kids here at Here's Help? I know that Alonzo and Tracy Morning donated the gym equipment, and but I just see so many of the clients here are interested in dance, whether it's hip hop, whether it's fusion, whatever it is, they're interested in dance. I mean, have you guys done anything together with us here at Footy along those lines?
We have not been asked to do anything like that, but we do volunteer. I volunteer personally once a week. I teach a business prep class, so we go over resumes, we go over mock interviews, we go over how to shake hands, how to look people in the eye when you're interviewing. So we teach these guys while they're getting treatment here in the program. We also teach them how to get a job in the legitimate legal world.
Liz, tell us a little bit about you. I mean, I know we just got started. I want to talk a lot about Rio Latin Impact, how you got it Rio for kids, but I want to learn a little bit about you.
I wanted to tell you, if you don't mind, if we go back about how to get these kids involved, the kids that don't, let's say, I work a lot with the parents that can't afford it. Okay, I work a lot with those kids, and it's open. They can just look me up on Facebook, and I have the program for the kids. I mean, parents cannot say, I can't afford it. Hey, come over to Rio, she'll take the child, and
how do they find you on Facebook?
They find me on Real Latin Impact, one word, Real Latin Impact.
Let me just say clearly, RIO, R-I-O, not
right.
real.
Correct.
It's R-I-O, Latin Impact.
Correct.
On Facebook.
And yes, and this program mainly focuses on the kids that the single mothers or single dads can't afford it. So bring them over to me, and then the parents, you can see, they'll join also, with the kids. Matter of fact, there'll be coaches with their kids on stage with me. They'll be one of the instructors because they'll be going through the whole program, the whole practice. So I take any child from the ages of 5 to 17 that wants to, there's kids there that know how to dance. The parents don't even know the talent in them. By the time I'm done with them, they look and they say, I didn't know she could move like that. I didn't know she had an endurance like that, because they build their self-esteem, they build endurance, they lose weight, they learn how to eat healthy. Because I talk to them about what is good to eat, what is healthy. instead of being there in front of the TV. I tell them, hey,
Liz,
dance. We're going to dance.
I think it's so important that both of you are doing things like this, because as a parent, we can tell our kids all day, all night, what it is they should eat and what they should do. But if I bring Jimmy into the room and Jimmy is a friend, and Jimmy tells my son the exact same thing I've been telling him for the last 2 months, then all of a sudden, hey, Jimmy says I should eat better and do it. I've been telling you this for the last 3 years. All of a sudden, Jimmy's a genius. So it's very important, Liz. How do you do it? How do you get these kids in there for free? They're low income. You're doing something for the community. How are you making it happen?
Word of mouth. My moms, the sisters, the cousins, word of mouth. They hear of me on Facebook. They heard of me. Wait, I remember her. She used to be a dance fitness instructor back in LA Fitness 5 years ago. Oh my God, where is she? You know, I was with LA Fitness for 5 years.
You look familiar.
A lot of clients says, there you are. Because I left LA Fitness to move up. I needed to move up, go to private places, and find my own locations.
And where is your location? Is there a phone number? Is there an email?
Yes,
is there
the
anywhere
phone
they
number
can go?
is on. My number is 786-290-3831. Again, 786-290-3831. Our location, downtown Hollywood, Davie. 2 locations in North Miami Beach, and now we're opening up in Hialeah. This is the strong demand, the demands that they want for some real Latin impact, Brazilian butt lift, toning, Brazilian endurance.
I know a few women in Hialeah that can benefit from the Brazilian butt lift. Yes, I do, all over South Florida. I'm from Hialeah, so I know exactly what you're talking about.
It's a strong demand there.
Yes, there is.
It's a strong demand there.
Unfortunately, and
They
we're
have a
laughing,
butt. They just need it lifted.
Correct. Yeah, they do.
So because of my mom's coming in, not having a babysitter, and I said, just bring the kids. And then I would see them starting to move, and then I said, come on, join us. And then all the kids start joining us, and then word of mouth, hey, you can bring your kids.
Well, it's
and
a
then
whole
I noticed
event. You bring them all together.
Yes. And then I start getting kids out of nowhere, and I said, you know what, I'm going to start a summer program. When I put out on Facebook, hey, Real for Kids coming, everybody just started joining. Then Nova University called me over and says, hey, we would like to sponsor you and your kids. We have Day for the Children here. Come and do an event here. We did. It came out spectacular.
So you have a lot of places now. Hialeah
where are you going to be opening in Hialeah? Do you know yet?
Not yet, and that's where I'm looking for a location in Hialeah.
No, I think
probably
you're
by Miami Lakes and the end of
Miami Lakes is Hialeah by the sea. From
correct.
Yeah, right?
It's just across the canal west of the Palmetto. Not much of a difference there. Hialeah by the sea, exactly. No, I can't really. I think it's a phenomenal thing. Liz, how did you get involved in dance? I mean, where were you born originally? How did you end up here, and how did you get involved in dance?
My family, my oldest brother's a musician, and he found a talent in me. He discovered that I liked to dance since I was 3 years old. By the time I hit 13, he's the one that said, hey, you want to learn how to play the drums, the samba? And we're Brazilian, from Brazil, so he's a percussionist from Brazil. So he says, hey, let me teach you how to dance the samba. He taught me how to dance the samba, and that was it. The way I look at it is I've been blessed with great talent that I can make a difference in kids and mothers and single women that are just down and obese and wants to lose weight. I motivate them. I inspire these women, And
I think it's very difficult. It's very difficult for a single mom nowadays to be able to raise a child, have a job or two, and then on top of that, try to maintain her body, try to eat, because everybody says, eating properly. It's very difficult because it takes you and I a month to lose 2 or 3 pounds. These kids can lose 4 pounds in a week.
Well, in my class, you burn up to 1,000 calories in 1 hour. Louis, you want to come?
Well, actually, yes, I do.
In
this
1
summer,
hour.
I'm going to get back.
And you
need
can
it or
bring
anything.
your monitor, too.
Oh, the heart monitor.
Yes, to monitor your calories, how much you're burning. And it's up to 1,000.
So we love Liz. She's amazing. She's high energy, high
Yes, she
impact,
is.
Rio Latin impact. And we're so honored to have her at this year's Camp Gym, the theme is active and healthy, keeping kids active and healthy. And in addition to Liz, we have other performers. We have a little young lady singing hit sensation, Tori Lynn. She's going to come out. She was here last year. We have another, she's a Jimmy Jam dancer. This is Taylor Cohen. She's coming out. Her older sister was on American Idol, one of the top 15
Wow.
contestants, Samantha Cohen, and now her younger sister, Taylor Cohen, is going to come out and sing with us this year. And a big hit. This guy is superstar status. I can mark it today. You can mark my words. This guy will be superstar. Casely. So he'll be joining us as well. In addition to Susie Stone's Hip Hop Kids.
Oh, so, Susie Stone's Hip Hop Kids.
Yeah, the Hip Hop Kids.
She's been around for a while.
She's been around for a long time, and she brings it. I mean, she's got a great organization, and her kids are amazing. And the Hip Hop Kids will be performing on stage along with Liz and all these other performers. We have break dancers that Ingrid Morales is providing for us, along with some other entertainers. We have radio personalities from Y100 Radio. Team mascots from the Heat and Billy the Marlin, and we have some military personnel that's going to come out and do some quick exercises and teach the kids a little bit about discipline.
Last year they went ahead and called me to warm up the military, the 5K run in Coral Gables. So they said, let's go get Liz to warm them up.
How do those military guys do with you?
She didn't warm them up. She made them hot.
She killed them.
I was so impressed when they said, we saw the energy you have. We need you to the 5K military run, and we need you to warm them up before their run. And I said, oh boy, I'm afraid they won't be.
They won't run, right? After Liz gets through with them, they're finished.
But it was great. The outcome was great, and it was something different for them.
Jimmy, how does it feel for you? You started down here as a kid working for footy when you were 13, 14 years old. You got Jimmy Jam's Productions off the ground, and now you're at that phase of your career where you're trying to help individuals like this, RIO for Kids, bring them up. You're helping the community. You volunteer your time here at Here's Help. What's it like for you, the founder of Jimmy Jam's Productions, to give back?
Born and raised in Miami, born in Jackson Memorial Hospital, and raised in Miami, just north of Hialeah, north and east, in North Miami Beach.
North Miami Beach.
I reside in Plantation right now with my little munchkin Troy boy. And this is my community. So my community's been good to me, and I give back to my community. That's all.
Give us the phone number, the websites, anything again to get involved with Camp Jam or to go see it happen on Friday, July 8th at the Faith Center in Sunrise.
If your kid is registered with one of the camps that are coming out, by the way, it's a sold-out show, so hopefully your kid is in the camps that are coming. It's going to be an amazing show. This is going to be our best ever because we get better and better every year. And it's you can go to campjam.net, or you can call us in the office at 1-800-JIMMY-JAM. Yes.
And Louie, I still have open slots for kids.
So please give us a website, phone number where they can get a hold of you, Liz.
I still have open slots. I believe we have 7 more. I'm trying to bring in 25 kids for this performance. So we have 7 more slots open that they can contact me at 786-290-3831 or look me up on Facebook, Real Latin Impact by Liz. It's all one word, okay? Real Latin Impact.
And you say it so fast. It's RIO, R-I-O. RIO.
Yes, RIO Latin Impact.
Yes.
On Facebook.
And also, if the mom wants to take a look at all our classes, she can take a look at on YouTube. I have over 100 videos of my classes. I have the kids' classes in there, the adult, co-ed, gentlemen, football players taking my classes. So enjoy. The videos
So I'll be on YouTube and during the break. Stay with us. We'll be right back. The Here's Help Radio Show.
You're listening to the Here's Help Radio Show.
Hi, this is Footy. One great thing about living in South Florida is that you can barbecue all year round. And when you do, pour on the Footy sauce, available hot, and our famous chicken wing sauce. Footy sauce is available at Publix, where shopping is a pleasure.
Proceeds benefit Here's Help and the fight against drug abuse. For all your courier needs, there's only one solution. Courier Solutions Incorporated. Rush service 2 hours or less. Same day service 4 hours or less. Next day service, next business day. Holiday and weekend service open 24/7. Specializing in the medical field and time-sensitive deliveries. Over 30 years experience in the healthcare industry. Trained delivery technicians, online ordering and tracking. There's only one solution. Courier Solutions Incorporated. 954-236-0118. Welcome back to this week's Here's Help Radio Show. If you need help or know of someone who is having a substance abuse or alcohol problem, you could call our admissions office at 305-685-8201 extension 225. And now, here's your host of this week's edition of the Here's Help Radio Show.
Thank you so much for staying with us. We have got a guest on the program that we have been wanting to bring on the program for quite some time because she provides a major service for Here's Help. And not only does she do it for us, but this is what she does for a living. So we wanted to showcase you, Violet, because it's not just what you do for the kids at Here's Help as far as making resumes. Correct me if I'm wrong, everybody out there is talking about redoing their resume or making it better. So Violet Nicolici Lowry, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much for having me. And my business is A+ Professional Resumes, and we're in South Florida. We're located in Pompano Beach. And basically what we do is professional development, focusing on resumes and career services, and actually portraying a professional image, whether you're looking for a job, ready to go into college, or actually maybe you want to promote your business as well. So we do all of that with the resume as well.
Violet, let's talk a little bit first before we get going. How do you help the kids here at Here's Help? Because you've done some phenomenal work. Mm-hmm. We've placed a lot of young men in a lot of positions in South Florida. And let's face it, I mean, you're doing work with kids that their resume is not particularly, their experience or education is not particularly stellar, but yet you're pumping out some great resumes here. Tell us about your involvement with Here's Help.
Well, one of my certifications is I'm a certified workshop presenter. So when I come into an organization, I do a workshop, and I actually do one-on-one with the students, and we review their resumes. Based on whatever they want to do, you have to be focused and specific. And that's where today's resume has gone. You have to be specific to the position that you're looking for, and also some career counseling for the students. They may not know what they want to do, and that's my job, is to help them figure it out. And then take all of their experience and relevant education and any courses and things that they've taken and present it on their resume so the employer actually can see that they do have some experience. So that's what I'm trying to help the students out with.
Before we get going on the questions that I want to ask you, tell me a little bit about you. I mean, where were you born? Where'd you go to high school? How did you end up with this company?
Well, I was born and raised in Chicago and moved down here when I was 10. So I basically grew up in Florida. And I went to Nova Southeastern University for my undergraduate and my master's degree. And I have a master's in business, and I'm a certified professional resume writer, certified empowerment and motivational coach. And the reason why I do that is because emotionally it takes a toll on people when they're looking for a job or they've been laid off. So you have to deal on the emotional aspect of that as well, instead of going back for myself to get a PhD in psychology. So I'm a certified empowerment and motivational coach instead.
I think you picked the right career, because there's more money in writing resumes now than there is a PhD in psychology.
Yes.
It might equal out if this economy stays down. You
Absolutely.
might make more business with psychology. But I guess why is your resume so important in your job search now? That's my question right off the bat. But let me ask you, for me, just because I'm like everybody else, the one resume for all the jobs is gone, correct?
Correct, yes. A general resume is really not going to help you, because if you're competing with somebody else for a position, you have to be specific and tell them exactly what you're looking for, as opposed to not. So if you want to be a firefighter, you're not going to be so general as to put, I'm in business and all of these different things that you're qualified to do, or management. You have to be specific to the position at hand
that you're applying for.
Absolutely. So there could be different titles, and maybe you're qualified as a manager or sales or something in marketing, but if the position is an account executive, then be specific to that. If it's a sales professional, be specific to that. And the reason is because there are so many people looking for a job. Employers are cherry picking to individuals that have the exact set information and skill set that they're looking for. So you want to be specific to the job and show measured results. That's very important. And whatever job on the job description, whatever they're asking for, you have to make sure you read that, because job seekers fail. They think that, they're hiring for an account executive. Bam, I'm going to send my resume. And maybe that's not exactly what they're looking for in that specific job description. So you have to know what they're looking for and relay the information relevant to what they're asking for. And measured results is very, very important. So you have to have that.
Why is your resume so important in your job search today?
Okay. The first thing that someone's going to ask you when you're looking for a job is, send me your resume. And then at the 11th hour, you're scrambling to go ahead and focus and try and write a resume. And not everybody could do it. I mean, I even have my resume done by a colleague in the industry. Not that I can't do it. It's just somebody else is a professional. Let them do it. I don't do my own taxes. I'm not my own doctor. So someone who's a professional and can assist you, that's what you want to go ahead and have. And the resume is very, very important because it highlights, this is your marketing tool for you. So it has everything on there that the employer is seeking. Or somebody, if you want to be appointed to a board, then they're going to have the information that's on there for that. Or you're looking to promote your business. I do resumes from college level students to high school students to CEO level. So I've seen every profession that you can imagine out there. So it's just a matter of, I have a white canvas like an artist, and then I just create away. So it may look like a regular professional document, or it may be something totally different. Like for a chef, I've done menus. So, it's totally different. You just have to be creative and think about it. And I incorporate charts and graphs and quotes and all kind of different things that you've never seen on a regular resume to capture the attention of the reader. If the first half of the first page doesn't sell you to whoever is looking at it, you've wasted your time, because it takes maybe 10 to 15 seconds that they're going to really look at it, and then it's gone. And don't have errors on your resume. That's very, very important. You have to make sure that everything is correct on there. And it's okay to have 2 pages. I mean, people shy away from it and say, 1 page. It doesn't matter. If you can't capture their attention in the first half, it doesn't matter. They're going to pass it over anyway. If it's information that they want to see, they'll read on. So it's okay.
What tips can you give us for an effective resume? Because my wife was laid off by a local cruise line after 24 and a half years, as many people in South Florida have been laid off, or around the world actually, and they haven't really had a need for a resume. Myself included, I worked 25 years on the fire department, never needed a resume. And when I look at the templates of my resume 25 years ago, you're not going to get any attention from what I did 25 years ago. I can't emphasize enough how important it is to go to a woman like Violet or a company like yours to get it done. Because like you said, that's what you do for a living. And the people out there, it's the same thing for psychology, as you well know. The first impression you make from 4 seconds to 5 minutes, that's it. It's going to be hard to change that first impression. The same exact thing has to be true for a resume. They're not going to meet you, but the first thing they see is that piece of paper on their desk. What are some tips for an effective resume?
One of the main things I can tell you is it has to be specific and targeted. So whatever the position is that you're applying for, that's what you have to target. You have to have keywords and buzzwords that pertain to that particular industry. So whatever it is that you're going to apply for, take all the lingo that is possible and incorporate it into your resume. You have to have specific measured results. I go back to that, but that's very important because you don't want to regurgitate what they're looking for as a responsibility. You have to tell them what you've done. Why should they hire you over the next person? So you have to show measured results. Much like a sales professional, I always incorporate numbers on there. Give them the goal and then what you actually attained and different measurements that your boss would hire you for. And I use performance appraisal reviews. I take segments out of that to go ahead and put it on there. You want to go ahead and have relevant information. Go back about 10 years on your resume. Don't put over 20 years of experience or 30 years because you're going to date yourself and you don't want to go ahead and do that. You may have all of that experience, but you don't want to date yourself. You want to have a profile in the beginning to capture that attention of somebody. You want to highlight things that they're looking for. If they're looking for someone with an MBA, then put it after your name. That's your designation. You earned it. If you're an RN, registered nurse, put that behind your name. If you're a PhD, put that behind your name. Whatever it is, highlight it. You want to also have like I said, relevant information. If you've done all these different positions that have nothing to do with the job that you're focused on, kind of get rid of them or just put them down and don't go into too much detail as additional professional experience.
See, I need your help because my resume is a general resume with all the way back to high school. And you're right, I didn't want to get rid, but I was always like, well, should it be a general? And what you're telling is nowadays, no, you have to spearheaded right for that job. And yes, you might have to have 2, 3, 4 different resumes, but when you're going after a $60,000, $70,000 a year job, I think it's worth to pay some hundreds of dollars to somebody to do your resume and have it stick out from somebody else.
And don't forget, there are different types of resumes, so I don't want to take out the fact that if you're going to apply for a government job or a federal job, most times you have to go back all the way to high school. So that's a totally different resume. I'm talking more right now about professional resumes, but the federal resumes, I've done those as well, and CVs, which a lot of people get those confused. CVs are used more internationally as opposed to the United States. And on resumes, you don't want to include personal information. You don't want to put your picture on there. You don't want to put your height and your weight and your social security number and things like that. Certain resumes, yes, for certain professions, like the marine industry. You have to have your picture on there. You have to have your weight. You have to say if you're a smoker or non-smoker. So these are some of the things that you may not know as a job seeker.
No, absolutely not.
And I've seen resumes where people put their picture on it. And I said, wait a minute, don't put your picture on there. Pilots or stewardess and things like that, flight attendants, they put their picture on there. Just certain professions do and certain don't. When I do a lot of my NFL players or a lot of sports figures, actors, actresses, models, yes, they put their picture on their resume. So
the voice you're hearing is Violet Nicolici Lowry. She's from A+ Professional Resume. She volunteers her time here at Here's Help to help us with the kids, and we want to focus on her because I know a lot of people out there need your service, and many of them are hesitant to spend the money, but believe me, it's worth every single penny, as I can tell just by listening to her for the last 10 minutes. Question, how long should it be?
Again, it's, use your judgment, really. 1 page is great. 2 pages is okay, especially if you have over 10 years of experience. Some of my executive levels, I'll go a little bit longer, only because there may be a professional addendum attached to it or an executive bio or something like that. But I enjoy going out in the community. I do a lot of job fairs all the time. There's a few job fairs that are coming up. I always speak at them. I was appointed by Governor Chris to Workforce Florida Board for the state of Florida. So I traveled throughout the state, and I just got back from Marianna, Florida, a small little town, and just seeing the dynamics of the economy there. Bringing in big companies like Family Dollar. They brought that big company into the area. And what I hear a lot from employers, to be honest with you, is they're looking for people that want to work. And there are jobs out there, but you have to be focused and specific. And here's one thing that comes up all the time. Because some people were unemployed and they have a gap on their resume, I want to address this because this is very important. I see job seekers all the time, and I ask them, what are you doing? And they say, oh, nothing. And I said, you need to get out and get involved. For example, at Here's Help, you should be here volunteering your time specifically to what you do for a living. I just met Fabian outside, and he's a music teacher. Well, he can volunteer here as a music teacher and take that volunteer experience and put it on his resume as a music professional or a music teacher. And anything that you do, it doesn't matter what you do for a living, you can go out and volunteer in the community and put it down as relevant professional experience.
And that also leads to a lot of networking.
Absolutely.
You never know where you volunteer, where people are. Now, what should people be doing? Because I see this all the time, and now I learned that this is not the way to go. They get laid off, and their first response is to grab that resume that's been sitting in the closet for 7, 10, 15 years and just blast it out to everybody they know. Talk to me about that.
Okay, that's not the only thing you should do. If you're at home and you're sitting in front of your computer and all you're doing all day long is saying, I've applied to 1,000 jobs and nothing, you can't do that. You have to actually get out from the computer and go and network. Go to events related to the industry that you want to go into. For example, if you're a CPA, you can go to accountants. They have organizations, healthcare, nurse organizations. They have events. Marketing professionals, they have events. Sales reps, they have events. And get involved. Again, even at Here's Help, they may have a networking event. Junior Achievement, I was on the board for Junior Achievement, the Professional Connection. They have events all the time. I was involved with the Chamber of Commerce in Hollywood. They have events all the time. Get out there and start networking. But don't just say, I'm looking for a job. Be specific. Tell them what you're looking to do, and they may know somebody. They may not have a job for you, but they may know somebody. But it's going to stick to them when you say, hey, I'm looking for a position in marketing, and I do this specific specifically. I know how to do events, and I know how to do PR. I know how to do press releases. And if you're specific enough to tell somebody, they're going to remember that when they speak to somebody else and they hear about a position.
Violet, what about the people who they have these requirements? You have just about everything except one or two. Should you still go after it? And if they want a BA and you're close to getting a BA, because sometimes I think people rule themselves out of jobs and they maybe should have gone because you never know.
If they're asking for a specific requirement, they're really going to look for it. However, it doesn't mean that you shouldn't try or apply, because in this world today, the worst thing that can happen is someone says no, or you fail, or what have you. It doesn't matter. You got to try again. So just keep going, and it doesn't mean that they're not going to take you. Your experience may compensate for that degree. So you really have to get to the person too. I always advise my clients, if you're looking for a specific job and you know someone, go specifically to that person and see if you can connect with them. That's why LinkedIn is very important. LinkedIn is the professional social networking. It's like Facebook, but only for professionals, and it's less, personal. And I recommend that highly, because 85% of recruiters are on there looking for people. So you really can connect with a lot of people. All of my clients are connected to me, and you'd be surprised who you could be connected to. I was connected to Google and to different companies that I didn't even know, but based on my network. And it's very useful.
So I should have been responding to these friend requests from LinkedIn is what you're telling me.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Violet, tell us a little bit about your involvement at Here's Help. How has that been for you?
It's great. I enjoyed meeting with the students here, and it's just an experience that I will never forget, and I hope I impacted at least one individual. And I love to do it. I love to give back and actually make a difference in their life. And if I can, it means the world to me. So I'm very fortunate that I'm able to do that. So.
No, and we are very fortunate to have you. I cannot tell you how much Footy and Sam and Johnny and everybody here at Here's Help appreciates what you're doing, because we do, especially with culinary, with the automotive centers, all these kids, they are getting their training, but all the training in the world, all the attitude in the world nowadays, if you don't team it up with a solid, up-to-date, state-of-the-art resume, it's just not going to get you anywhere. From what I'm hearing, you're doing a fantastic job with our kids, because we have gotten a lot of job placement. Is it more difficult to do a resume for one of our kids or for a CEO, or is it about the same?
No, it's all on the experience and how you relay it on the piece of paper. So like I said, it's a work of art, and everybody has their own skill set. Everybody's individual. And to that, I would say nobody should ever look down at anybody for anything that they have. From whatever position you go for, it's very important. So.
Let us have the name of your company, the website, and the phone number, and your name, clearly.
Yes, Violet Nicolici Lowry with A+ Professional Resumes, 954-839-8552, and it's www.A+, that's A+, professionalresumes.com.
And even more importantly, you had a major addition to the family coming up, or you just had soon.
I just had it.
Talk to us a little bit about
I had a baby girl, and her name is Emma Nicole, and she's going to be 5 months old, and I have a son named Jimmy, who's 3 years old, named after Jimmy Buffett, and my husband, Ken, who's wonderful, and he supports me through everything.
Well, Violet, thank you so much for everything you do for the kids here at Here's Help, the clients, and for what you're doing for the community as well. Remember my name, because you're going to be working on my resume. This is the Here's Help radio show. Stay with us. Coming up next, Client's Corner, what every parent needs to know.
You're listening to the Here's Help radio show.